Hello and welcome back to Book Nerd TV. Today we're going to do a very short book tag, and it is the Black Booktubers Tag, originated by Readingblk. That was the name of the video channel. The name has subsequently changed. Actually, it recently changed to something else because the host of the channel, Miriama, is changing the direction and the focus of the channel from reading to some other things that they're more interested in at this point. So even though Readingblk, the channel, no longer exists, the tag, the Black Booktubers Tag, still exists, and I thought was interesting and fun enough to do anyway. The first prompt in the tag is, tell everyone about yourself. Well, this channel is Book Nerd TV. I think the channel has been up for 2 years, and there have been a couple times when I just was not able to find the inspiration and the motivation to actually put out videos, but I'm back. Maybe I'm lagging a little on my production of videos, but I am endeavoring to persevere, to continue to put out content because I love talking about books and engaging with people about said books. Prompt number 2 is recommend a Black author that you love that other people may not know about. My person for this prompt is RSA Garcia. The book by RSA Garcia that I own is Lex Talionis. I bought this book on the strength of 2 short stories that I listened to through either Clarkesworld and or LeVar Burton Reads, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that they both did the same story, which is From Both Sides of the Sun. I enjoyed that short story so much that I listened to it twice. I think I may have listened to it 3 or 4 times since the first time I ran across the book. Another short story by the same author is The Anchorite Wakes, and I think that's actually the first short story that I'm aware of that I listened to by RSA Garcia, and that also was on Clarkesworld. So Anchorite Wakes and From Both Sides of the Sun can be found on Clarkesworld, and then From Both Sides of the Sun by itself can be found on LeVar Burton Reads, and I specify LeVar Burton Reads because I mean LeVar Burton. And so my Black author that people may not know about is RSA Garcia. Pick up this book. Let's help a sister out. Prompt number 3 is, what is your favorite book about the Black experience? For me, my favorite book that I've read thus far about the Black experience is The Warmth of Other Suns. I don't have a hard copy. I think I've complained about this before. I don't have a hard copy of Warmth because the hard copy is so expensive, but I'll put up a picture. I enjoyed Warmth of Other Suns so much. And if I haven't said it, Warmth of Other Suns by Isabel Wilkerson. I enjoyed the book so much. I listened to the audiobook, and Robin Miles is just such a wonderful narrator. She did the narration for Warmth, and she also did the narration for Ms. Wilkerson's second book, or next book, which is Cast, which I very recently finished listening to, even though I have a hard copy, and I bought the hard copy because I didn't want to have the same problem that I'm having with her first book, which is my actual recommendation, which is Warmth of Other Suns by Isabel Wilkerson. Prompt number 4 is, what is your favorite book by a Black author? My favorite book, I just mentioned, Warmth of Other Suns by Isabel Wilkerson, and that would be my nonfiction selection. My fiction selection is going to be anything by N.K. Jemisin that I've read up to this point. I am a huge fan of N.K. Jemisin. I'm a huge fan of the ability that she has with creating this entire world for the action to take place. Her short stories, what is it, How Long to Black Future Month? Oh my gosh. It's a collection of her short stories, and the book it's really a really great book. Prompt number 5 is recommended book by a Black queer author. So for this one, I'm going with An Unkindness of Ghosts by Rivers Solomon. Rivers Solomon identifies as non-binary, and pronouns are they, them. And this book is this book is so good. This book is so good. If you've not read it, I recommend that you get it. Check it out at the library. Check it out from Libby. Is it Libby? Overdrive, whichever one your library system uses. check this book out. I think you will really enjoy it. The next prompt is recommend a book with a Black person on the cover. I have 2 for you. Well, actually, I have 3 for you. One is an audio book that I'm going to put the picture right here. The Disordered Cosmos by Chandra Prescott Weinstein is just gorgeous. I love this cover. It actually reminds me a bit of an Unkindness of Ghosts. It kind of puts me in that mind frame. Cosmos, stars, side profile of a Black woman, you know, it's gorgeous. But anyway, so I'm listening to this book right now and I'm enjoying it. She's talking a lot about quarks, but I think quarks are her specialty within the realm of physics and quantum physics. So it's interesting. I'm learning a lot. I love the challenge of trying to wrap my brain around things that I don't know anything about. So, or very little about. In this case, very, very tiny quark-like amount of knowledge that I have about physics. I'm enjoying the book very much. So if you're interested in physics and, you know, getting your perspective of physics from a person that you don't normally hear from, a woman, a Black woman, then you might want to check this book out. The next book that I haven't read yet is Let's Talk About Love by Claire Kahn. I bought this book. It hasn't been quite a year ago. I bought this book because I was searching for a fiction book with an asexual main character. And this book, according to the synopsis, has an asexual main character and she's Black and the cover is gorgeous. So I'm excited to read this one, and I will, of course, tell you all about it when I do read it. And the last of the 3 books from this prompt, because they only asked for 1, is All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. I was supposed to read this book, I think it was maybe the end of last year, beginning of this year, but, you know, stuff and things and issues. But I hope to get to this book, if not this year, maybe next year. And with the group that I was supposed to read the book with, I'll just have to put those feelers out and see if they're amenable to tackling this book. Prompt number 7 is recommend a book by a Black author that makes you happy. Easy peasy. It is any book, well, let me take that back. Any book in the Brown Sisters series by Talia Hibbert. I am currently reading as my palate cleanser, mood elevator. I'm currently reading like a chapter and a half at a time, Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I am enjoying this book so much. I usually read historical romance. Beverly Jenkins, shout out. However, I'd heard so much about Get a Life, Chloe Brown that I thought I'd try it. I have it as an ebook, and I thought, you know, in for a penny and for a pound. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't lose very much on the transaction. Who knew that I would enjoy this book so much? I had no idea. And consequently, I think you may find yourself just as surprised and charmed and engaged as I am finding myself. Again, a lot of my books are nonfiction. Maybe 60% of my reading is nonfiction. And sometimes you just need a break from all of that. And Talia Hibbert has proven to be that mood elevator that kind of lifts me out of the sort of sad places that I can find myself sometimes, or the frustrated places, or the angry places, so that you can find yourself in after reading, you know, some of the history of the United States. So, highly recommend Talia Hibbert. I think she will completely and totally brighten your day. Prompt number 8 is recommend other Black booktubers. I think I've recommended her before, Jess Owens. Her channel, she does, one of the series that she does on her channel is called Community, but instead of TY, it's TEA. I just love her personality, and Nigel, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Nigel? Anyway, if you like being sort of entertained, but also sort of get the tea on the goings on about the book community and the publishing industry, then Jess Owens, I think, is definitely someone that you can watch be entertained, find out a little bit about the book community, and also find out about what books she's reading, because she does read books. It's not just the tea on the book industry and the book community. She actually does also read books. She'll give you reviews. She'll give you hauls as well. So I think it's a very well-rounded channel. I certainly enjoy it for sure. She's one of those people that I will certainly watch when I just need a little mood elevation. I sort of save her book community videos for those times when I want a little entertainment and a little information. Then I watch her videos. Another booktuber that I would recommend is Reviews May Vary. May have talked about this channel before as well, but I just enjoy her vibes. It's books and tea, what's not to love. She will tell you what kind of tea she's drinking. She always has these lovely cups and saucers as well. And then she does these really great hauls because she visits the library as well as purchases. And I can't remember whether or not she works for like a library system, school library system, maybe neither one of those things. But she has some sort of association with the library. I think I could be completely wrong and misremembering, because that happens. But Reviews May Vary. I think you'll enjoy her channel. Oh, and she has fabulous hair. I just love the color of her hair. So yeah, I think you'll enjoy, on top of loving the color of her hair, I think you'll love her content as well. So go check her out. Reviews May Vary. Prompt number 9 is talk about books coming out in, well, it was 2020 because of when the tag was created, but 2021. And rather than try to project into 2022, because I haven't done that, I will tell you about a book that I was anticipating for 2021 back in 2020. Oh my gosh, that's not confusing. But anyway, and that is The Conductors by Nicole Glover. This book was published in March of this year, March 2021. And I think I pre-ordered it either at the very end of 2020 or at the very beginning of 2021 because it sounded so interesting about conductors along the Underground Railroad. And there's just so much more being uncovered in real life, but also there are even more fiction books being written about that time and that movement. And I'm anxious to read it. But I also don't want to read it too fast because, if it's really good, and I think from what I've seen and what I've heard, admittedly, not very much, but from what I've seen and what I've heard, people discussing the book, it seems like it's a really, really good read. So I'm going to say I can't wait to read it, but I'm going to wait to read it because sometimes you just need something to look forward to. And for right now, besides the Brown Sisters series by Talia Hibbert, The Conductors by Nicole Glover is one of those books that I'm sort of saving for when I can really savor the actual reading of the book. Prompt number 10 is, of course, tag some other Black booktubers. I won't do that because the tag is well over a year old. I do send all kinds of shouts out and thank yous to Miriama at the former Readingblk. Best of luck with your new channel. Hope everything works out for you the way that you want it to. Sometimes we have to know when we have to change things up, and I think it's pretty fearless for you to do something like this, to change the entire direction of your channel because you realize your interests and your creativity is pulling you in a different direction. So for whatever reason, I haven't mentioned the new name of the channel of what was formerly Readingblk is now called Atomic Vomit. Miriama did a very short video about the change. New content isn't on there yet except for the explainer about why the old content is gone and the new content coming. So just like I said, just so happy for you and proud and just the bravery it takes to switch things up when you know or when you can listen to that inner voice telling you, hey, let's do something different. That takes a lot of courage. And so I admire you for that. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, remember, leave me a like. And if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe. Veteran subscribers, veteran nerds, thank you so much for hanging in with me. New viewers, welcome. If you like any other content that you've seen on the channel, go ahead and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Remember to stay safe, be safe, practice patience, practice kindness. Why am I doing this with my hands? I do not know, but whatever, I'm leaving it in. Just do good, be good, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.